Have you ever stood at the edge of powerlessness, where the rules are not made for you, where the game is already rigged, and yet you still have to play? This is the story of Isabel, and the impossible choice she turned into a masterpiece. Long ago, in a quiet Italian village carved between rolling vineyards and cobbled streets, there lived a man named Elias, once a respected tradesman, now buried in debt. Bartholomew was a man known not just for his money, but for the cold venom in his eyes. He dealt in desperation and collected debt with a smile that chilled even the bravest hearts. But there was one thing that even he could not buy. Isabel, Elias's only daughter, beautiful, sharp-witted, and brave beyond her years. Bartholomew, with his greedy eyes, had long set them upon Isabel. And so, in one twisted act of cunning, he approached Elias with a deal. "Your debt is high, but I am a generous man. Let chance decide your fate, and mine." He held up a small velvet pouch and said with a theatrical grin, "I shall place 2 pebbles in this bag, one black, one white. Let your daughter draw one. If she picks the white, I shall forgive your debt, and she walks free. If she picks the black, the debt is gone, but she must become my wife." Elias was pale. Isabel, however, kept her gaze locked on the man, her breath steady as still water. She said nothing, but her mind was already racing. The next morning, under the olive trees of Elias's courtyard garden, where the stone path shimmered in the morning sun, Bartholomew knelt to pick up 2 pebbles from the gravel-laced path. Isabel's eyes sharpened. She saw it. 2 black pebbles. No white. No fairness. No chance. A rigged game. Her heart raced for a second. But she did not cry out. She did not reveal the secret. She simply smiled, as if nothing had happened. Bartholomew dropped the 2 black pebbles into the pouch and handed it to her. "Go on," he said smugly. "Fate awaits." 3 choices lay before her. She could refuse to play, but that would seal her father's doom. She could reveal the trick, but with no proof, who would the town believe? Or she could reach into the bag and take a gamble, knowing that the game was poisoned from the start. But Isabel, she chose a 4th way, a way no one saw coming. She reached into the pouch, pulled out a pebble, and, with the grace of a dancer, let it slip from her fingers onto the gravel below. "Oh dear," she gasped, putting a hand to her lips. "How clumsy of me. But no matter. Why don't we just check the one that's left in the bag? Then everyone will know which one I picked." Bartholomew's smile faltered. For a moment, the world stood still. Around them, the townsfolk watched, unaware of the deception, yet drawn into the performance. With trembling hands, Bartholomew opened the pouch, a black pebble, which meant, by simple logic, she must have picked the white one. The crowd began to murmur. Bartholomew's face turned pale, then red, then pale again. He could say nothing. If he dared admit the trick, he'd destroy what little reputation he had left. The people would turn on him, and he knew it. So he laughed, hollow and false, and said, "Well then, fortune smiles on you today. A deal's a deal." And with that, the debt was erased. Isabel walked away, her chin high, her eyes fierce. She had not just saved her father. She had outwitted a monster. Not with violence, not with anger, but with a mind as sharp as the morning air. Years later, people still spoke of that day in Bellagio, of the girl who didn't just play the game, but rewrote the rules. Isabel went on to become a teacher, and then a counselor to many. She taught young women not only how to think, but how to think differently, to see options where others saw none, to choose courage over compliance. And every time someone would say, But there are only two choices. Isabel would smile and reply, "No, there's always a third. You just have to be clever enough to see it."